K Black in the building here with a quick video, man, on this Sunday morning. Gary Russell Jr. lost last night in a close fight. A fight many people view that should have went his way. We know Gary Russell came in with an injury, and he got injured during the fight. So for majority of the fight, the man only fought with one hand. I really would have liked to see how it would have turned out if he was able to just be 100% healthy with both hands. I think it would have been even a better fight for him, in this case. But I'm going to say this, man. I give him props for fighting with one hand, because most guys would have checked out. I've seen guys who had less of an injury and check on out. We all seen it. We've seen guys get knocked down, gather himself, get up like at 2 or 3, and the referee asks him, hey, do you want to continue? He count all the way to 8, take the whole full 8 count, and the ref asks him repeatedly, hey, do you want to continue? And the guy don't say nothing, and once the referee stopped the fight, he act all confused and say, oh, forget it. Where the fighter just physically and mentally checked out. Not physically, but he's mentally have checked out. So for a guy to get hurt like that, and know that you need your other arm, you at a big disadvantage, and you're still able to hold yourself in a fight. And like I said, in some people's views, actually believe that you won the fight. So his right hand was hurt. We know Gary Russell Jr. is a southpaw. So if anything, you don't want to get no type of injuries. But for his sake, at least it wasn't his dominant hand. So he was able to use it repeatedly. Man, hell, one judge had it fucking 6 rounds to 6. The other 2 had it 7 rounds to 5. So in a close fight like that, I mean, you got to get another, you got to, give your hats off to a person like a Gary Russell Jr. You know what I mean? Unless you're just a fucking hater. Injuries happen in boxing. Cuts. Fucking people get their nose broke, teeth missing, all type of shit. Or, in his case, a shoulder injury. We have seen fighters hurt their hand, even break their hands, and then you have to continue to do what they got to do. Some guys, like I said, would just say, forget it. Shit, hell. There's been times fighters have gotten a broken jaw, and they continue to fight. Win, lose, or draw. So, I don't know what's Gary Russell Jr.'s plans from here on out. He could barely get guys in there with him that he wanted when he had the belt. And since he don't have it anymore, I'm not sure that those guys still going to be ready to jump in the ring with him. I don't know if he's going to... It wasn't a rematch clause, so I don't know if this guy is going to rematch him to get him a fair one. And what I mean a fair one, a person that's 100% healthy. You know what I mean? Hey, I don't know the stance of his injury. But I wouldn't mind, if he can get it back to where it needs to be in about 6 months, man. Later on in this year, to, fight again. To see what it would be like if both these guys was 100% healthy. Shit, hell. And if it's a good fight the second time, hey, man, you can even do a trilogy, man. If Gary Russell was able to gain his belt back. Who knows? That's just wishful thinking. To be honest, man, I'm not here to bash Gary Russell, dog. But 2 things I do dislike about him, man. The inactivity. I know he was gone for a while. Going through family issues and stuff like that. I'm not going to mention what those issues are. But we all go through them. It's life. And people, just everyday common people go through things, right? So a person like him is in the mainstream. Millions of people get to see him every time he fight. So I know it's a little bit different, man. But the inactivity, I know for a fact, hurt this guy. Before last night, the last time we seen him was damn near 2 years ago. So if you look at from 2015 all the way up until now, the man fought once a year, man. 15 one time, 16 one time, 17 one time, 18 one time, 19 one time, 21 time, and now it's 2022 since the last time we seen him. So that's damn near 2 years since the last time we seen this guy. He's getting up in age. People in the lower class, we know they peak earlier because they rely on speed. And this guy's fast as fuck. I just wish I would have seen him more, man. I wish this guy would just have been fighting any and everybody. I know it was hard for to get this guy fight sometimes. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say it's his own doing, because he was trying to fight some of these guys for the titles and stuff like that, and they just didn't fight him. You know? And I don't think a fighter should have to always move up just to get fights, man. That hurt their career at times too. You know? So I think the dude truly wants to be unified and things like that. It just didn't work in his favor. I mean, but he could have been fighting cab drivers, fucking tomato cans. Just the other guys do it. Motherfuckers got damn near close to 60 fights, and more than half is people we never even heard of. They dug up off the damn grave and shit to fight them. Just to have an opponent, man. Sometimes you just got to have an opponent, man. I just wish he was busier. And the other thing, calling out fighters, man. There's nothing wrong with calling out fighters, but this dude would be calling out guys like 3 or 4 weight classes above him and shit like that, trying to bash him. I mean, one time he tried to talk bad about AB, telling me he wasn't fundamentally sound and shit like that. Talk shit about Crawford and Tank Davis, even Devin Haney. And there's nothing wrong. I understand. Him and Tank in the same, I think they fight in the same, they from the same area. You know, from the DC area. So fights like that, yeah, it makes sense. You know what I mean? And he closer to weight to you than the fucking Crawford is. You know what I mean? And so is Devin Haney. You know, so I don't know if he really just wanted to fight those guys. Was he just talking shit? You know what I mean? Just to remain relevant. If that's what he had to do, you know, it is what it is. You know, boxers have done all type of stuff just to remain relevant, you know. So I don't know like where you go from here, because no longer got the belt, man. But I think the dude name is Magsayo. I might be saying the dude name wrong. Who is the new WBC belt? I wonder what the fuck he's gonna do. Because you know, when these dudes get belts, they all become politicians, all right? They say everything that you want to hear and do the total opposite. It is what it is in the sport of boxing. So Gary Russell Jr. wasn't victorious this go round. Just hopefully that he get another opportunity. K Black in the building.